When I say that Bear City is one of my most favorite movie trilogies of all time, I could not be more serious.
That'll put some hair on your chest.
I'll put some hair on your chest, boy.
I don't think many other people even know of its existence, at least people outside of the community that it was made by and for. I don't even remember how I found it, but my god, I'm so glad I did. No kidding, I rewatch the whole thing at least once a year. But why though? Why would a weird little lesbian such as myself have so much love for this random gay bear movie series? First of all, I don't have to explain myself to you people, but if I chose to, it's still a little hard to put into words. I mean, I guess the best part of it is just seeing this community making stuff for themselves, and watching a bunch of older gays still live it up at the club and feel good about themselves makes me hopeful. And when you think about it, these older gays have seen a lot of shit in their time. They've earned their parties. That said, as beautiful as I find Bear City, it's not a very good movie. It's low budget, it's really indulgent with the sex scenes, it's kinda poorly written. One could argue that the runtime is way too long, but that just gives you all the more minutes to make fun of, which I'm about to do right now. I'm so excited for this. Quick note, while I am about to crack some jokes, none of them are gonna be at the expense of these bears or their looks, their age, their perceived attractiveness. That's not what this channel is about. What it is about, though, is me talking too much, so let's jump into it. The way the movie starts, it's already keeping you on your toes. We open up on this guy named Simon, and he's obviously going through some kind of dream sequence. He's walking around his apartment all confused and following this Christmas music to the bedroom to see what it is, and wham! Santa ass.
Ho, ho, ho!
That's his roommate Tyler bending over Santa. So of course now Simon's all discombobulated and he flips out and he wakes up. Except he doesn't, because that wasn't Simon's dream. I know it might have looked as much considering we were seeing that whole scene from his perspective, but no. You simple clown. That was Tyler's nightmare. Tyler is scared of getting caught pounding Santa, or rather pounding hairy bear-like men in general. Because his roommate Simon is a twink. And as we all know, twinks are judgmental and they're looks obsessed, and they die by the age of 24. So Tyler just knows he's not going to react well, end of. Simon just woke Tyler up from his nightmare because Tyler's late for an audition, because he's an aspiring actor. So Tyler hustles out of there, except he doesn't. He takes a sweet-ass time for someone who's late for apparently a really good opportunity. And while he's doing that, we get to see tons of bears just walking around and living life. God damn it, Tyler. You'd have found this community yesterday if you just open your eyes and look. And doesn't the song just slap in the most generic way ever? Oh yeah. I'm rocking out to this when it pops into my head at the grocery store. When Tyler finally gets there, we get to see one of the principal bears for the first time. This is Fred acting as the camera guy. Nothing really happens, it's just we're gonna call back to him in literally 5 minutes, so just know that he's there. Tyler goes home to find his twink roommate brought over another twink, and they're getting ready for some twink party with some twink Abercrombie models. Okay. And while they're gone, Tyler retires to his room for some good old dating apps and pornography, as you do. Seriously, what is this website about? Do bears really have porn built into their social networking like this? I feel dumb for even asking that. But Tyler's at the end of his rope. Granted, nothing major has happened at all. But suddenly, Grindr Bookstagram isn't enough to scratch his itch. So he heads out to the gay bars and finds himself at this place called the Ramrod, and there's a bunch of bears there, including Fred from earlier. Fred saves Tyler from this one creepo, and then he introduces Tyler to the rest of our principal bears, and they very sweetly take him into the fold with no hesitation. So remember, we have Fred, and he works for, I guess, casting in film and TV. Fred is partners with Brent, who I love. He's played by Steven Guarino of the Big Gay Sketch Show fame. He's actually probably more famous for something else by now, but I'm not looking that up. Anyway, Brent's kind of bitchy, and he improvises his lines a lot. Then there's Michael, who is #1 bear. This is a Michael Stan channel, and I will not be hearing anything derogatory about him. I love this mama bear man all the way from his darling southern accent down to his little suspenders and bad knees. Unfortunately, Michael has lost his job because of his weight, so that's going to be his whole side plot journey going forward. Also, Michael's here with his partner Carlos, who I guess is more chaser adjacent. He's very attracted to Michael, as anyone should be. He's also very protective of his man.
Hey, baby, looking good. Hey, don't squeeze the Charmin, Papa, okay?
And finally, we don't meet him, but we do get to hear about this guy named Roger. And Roger likes to, I mean, he likes to do this, that, and everybody. The movie was like, you need to know that about him first. He'll be back very soon. First, Fred and Brent are going to warm up to Tyler so quick, they decide he's going to move in with them. Forget about Simon, Tyler. Fuck that twinklies. Let's go. Follow your hairy little heart. Then Michael and Carlos go home and start getting it on.
Oh, baby, how's your knee?
Better. You want me to get down on it?
See, this is why we love Michael. Unfortunately, they're interrupted when Michael accidentally sits on his couch newspapers and he's like, no, not my newspapers! Because I guess he needs them in pristine condition so he can find a job. It's like 2010, but okay. And for some reason, Michael decides this is a good time to drop the news that he's getting a consultation for a lap band surgery, and Carlos does not take it well at all.
Of course, I don't understand, gordito, okay? Because that kind of treatment is for people with health problems.
Carlos is like, babe, that surgery is for people with health problems, not things like that excruciating chronic knee pain of yours I literally just asked you about. And Michael's like, fine then, go home to your apartment. So just like that, they're on a break. The next day, we regroup with Tyler and Fred. Fred's already moving Tyler in, but he gets turned on from talking about Santa Claus. I'm not kidding. And he says out loud he's going to hit up Brent for some sex. And then they do so in the shower with the door open so that Tyler can accidentally sneak a peek. And that's when we realize that Fred's looking to open up the relationship, but Brent is not. After that, Tyler gets a job at this little bear cafe that I guess Brent runs. All right. Roger from the orgy finally joins the rest of the main bears there. And we also get to see his vain, muscular bear friends in a non-orgy context. The idea is that it's these guys who are making Roger all self-conscious about having feelings. And then Roger solidifies his position as Tyler's love interest by having this really kind of awkward interaction at the bar.
I'm new. And I'm used. Keep the change.
I seriously can't tell if Roger's flattered or disgusted by Tyler at this point. The energy's confusing. Roger goes over to Michael, Fred, and Brent and shows off his new set of sounds. And if you don't know what those are...
Do you know what those are? They ain't for knitting.
Luckily, Roger is a great teacher. He's the only one at this table getting any joy out of this demo. Tyler walks in, and he's so shocked to see a set of sounds in a public cafe, he just freaks out and throws coffee all over himself. Later, Fred and Brent are chilling on the couch at home, and the fuckboy in Fred just comes all the way out.
I was just thinking about how ideal this is, you know? We are impenetrable. Do you think we should spice it up, like Roger says?
I hate the manipulative ass way he starts this conversation. Brent's really not into the idea, so they try to think of what kind of rules they could set in place to make him more comfortable. And Brent's like, no fucking. And then Fred responds with this thing that I just can't make heads or tails out of.
But the ultimate question becomes not whether you can live with it, it's whether you can live up to it.
What is this guy talking about? What does that have to do with anything? You think you're deep, bro? Dude, you're just high. Next, Roger accompanies Michael to his lap band consultation, and he starts cruising the waiting room. Seriously, what was Tyler so ashamed of? In this universe, it turns out that 95% of all men are either bears or bear chasers. Even the ones inside clinics that specifically exist to de-bearify men. The lighting on Michael's doctor is so crazy here. After that, Roger goes bowling where he runs into Tyler, and these two get to have a real conversation that doesn't involve coffee or sounds. Chemistry-wise, it's still not making sense yet. They still barely know each other, and so far they're still doing the most G-rated stuff out of everybody else in the cast, as long as you don't count the orgies or the sounds. I mean, together. You know what I mean. They start to make progress when Roger tries to help Tyler knock down a split, but then Roger's friend Teddy drops by.
Teddy bear!
And Roger hops away like, ooh, what? I'm not with this guy, I'm just with me. This guy just happened to be here. We're not touching buttholes or getting married or anything. I'm cool. Like, he acts so ashamed to be caught with Tyler. It's not giving so much sexy male rogue as it's giving immature asshole. Tyler's sad now, so he gets major drunk and he comes home to Brent and Fred. And Brent goes to order some Chinese food. And while he's gone, Fred, he tries to get acquainted with Tyler's butt crack. Even though right before Tyler got there, Fred and Brent were having another conversation where they decided they were not going to open the relationship. And Brent sees this too, so...
Shit! Oh, no.
Good job, Fred. We're supposed to like Fred. This weight loss drug commercial comes on and all the bears in the city are upset about it. Especially Carlos. He's still thinking about Michael, of course. And he almost calls him, but then he doesn't. But who knows, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe he'll initiate a reconcile and they can just put it all behind them.
Yeah. Come on, Michael. Don't be shy. I mean, who knows?
This could be your last supper.
My bad. Carlos actually chooses to storm into a barbecue at Roger's place that he wasn't invited to out Michael as a lap band apologist in front of all his friends, and also Michael's having surgery in a week. It is very unhinged and shocking. I'd never expect this behavior from Carlos.
Hey, don't squeeze the Charmin, Papa, okay?
Not my Carlos. Carlos almost beats up Roger, and then Tyler comes out to defend Roger, and then Carlos almost beats up Tyler, but then Mama Bear puts her foot down.
Carlos, please stop.
Fuck, man!
For a second, Roger acts genuinely impressed by Tyler standing up to Carlos. You get to see the tiniest little glimmer of actual connection between the two for a second. But then,
Teddy bear!
busts in with the rest of the Muscle Bear orgy unit. Roger gets distracted, and Tyler bounces because he's not the center of attention anymore. Then Fred and Brent are forced to address Fred's creep-ass behavior in the kitchen while they prepare the food.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a lot of mixed signals here, Brent. You know?
This guy wants to talk about mixed signals. Wow. So yeah, that's still unresolved. From here we go follow Tyler, and he's checking out this dad on the street to cheer himself up. And who else drops by but Simon? Remember him? That unimportant, disposable little twink that Tyler dumped to go live in his little bear fantasy house? Tyler's lucky that Simon's so forgiving. He lets Tyler apologize, they go back to his place. Meanwhile, Roger's... well, he's orgying again. Surprise, surprise. He's got Tyler on the brain. Tyler is mentally cock-blocking him right now. Also, I don't know if this is still at the house party. Is that still going on? I mean, if this is where Roger's barbecues normally end up, I can see why Brent's the one handling the food. He's the least likely to have dick-covered hands out of everybody here. Anyway, Roger can't get horny, because he keeps getting flashbacks to his greatest hits with Tyler, like that time he briefly stood behind him at the bowling alley. But like the good sport he is, Roger does find it in him to power through a blowjob. That's our Roger. Tyler finally comes clean to Simon about his whole bear orientation and the drama he's found himself creating / wrapped up in.
So you're telling me he stuck his fingers in your ass? Cheers to that.
I see myself in these guys right now because they are sweaty. Could be the weather, but I'm thinking it's the lights. Actors know. Simon, saint that he is, ends up kicking off a makeover montage, so Tyler's confident for the party he's going to see Roger at. They go to what looks like somebody's apartment living room dressed up like a boutique store, and they get Tyler a new look. Honestly, though, it's a cute little sequence. You can tell they were having a lot of fun on set. Flash forward to the Bear City pre-party. I forgot to even explain what Bear City was, didn't I? It's a weekend-long annual bear event. That's basically the gist of it. And it's very fun to watch. Like, these gay gentlemen are living it up. Anyway, this is the kickoff party. All the principal bears are going. First, Roger cuts the line in front of this really aggravated Spanish guy. He goes to the bar where he comes across Tyler and his brand new bear swag. If you ask me, it's kind of giving insecure lumberjack. But Tyler's clearly got Roger's attention, and they start being all bashful like before. But, Challenger approaches. It's that Spanish guy. He comes over. And just like that, Tyler's lost Roger all over again. Wow. Sucks. He probably spent $100 on that armless flannel, and for what? For real though, at this point, if Tyler wants an exclusive relationship, he's gonna have to say so out loud. You know, the one thing he still hasn't tried yet? Just because you've seen the guy's sounding kit doesn't mean anything, Tyler. He shows that to everybody. You gotta be proactive. Tyler goes back to Simon's apartment to mope. Simon's in the middle of this nude DDR sesh though, so Tyler has to bust in the most demented and creepy way possible. Tyler's gone full psychopath. Saint Simon listens to Tyler moan and groan about his relationship drama. Simon determines that he is going to go with Tyler to the party tomorrow to make sure that Tyler actually speaks on his feelings to Roger and finally get that out in the open. Meanwhile, Roger's gone home with the Spanish guy. Spanish guy gives his whole backstory to Roger, and then they start talking about how, well, maybe I want to settle down with somebody someday. I don't care about the Spanish guy. There's only like 20 minutes left. I know he's not sticking around for long. And clearly, Roger's got Tyler on the back of his mind during that sexy back massage. Now, here's where shit starts really hitting the fan. The next day, Brent and Fred are at this daytime Bear City event. It's a blind dating thing. They've finally settled on their first venture into threesomes, and they're anxiously waiting for one beer can double XL to receive their invitation. The guy's name is actually Mel, and he finds them, and they head right on their way to Fred and Brent's shower for some action. And it goes wrong. First of all, the water isn't even running. What's the point of using the shower? Y'all just into standing on porcelain? Y'all gonna do this dry? And then they tear down the shower curtain by accident. And then these idiots, for some reason, they start treating the threesome like a competition. They're going back and forth trying to steal away Mel's attention. It's getting more and more degenerate. Poor Mel goes out with a bang.
I'm getting the fuck out of here. Oh my god. Holy shit, Brent.
One thing I really like about this scene is the part where poor Stephen Guarino is trying so hard to keep a straight face. Whenever it looks like it was fun on a movie set, it does elevate my opinion on the film itself, which is probably why nobody pays me for my opinion on movies. Anyway, the shower becomes a crime scene because Fred and Brent are so bad at having sex, they almost kill this man. Don't worry though, he's just got a massive head injury and he'll be back in Bear City too. Later, Tyler and Simon go back to Bear City. Michael regales the main bears with his tale of his recent job interview with Broadway.com, which got a little embarrassing because the poor thing busted a button on his shirt. Like he sat down and it just psh. Also, Fred and Brent are on ecstasy, which makes them really annoying. They all start dancing together, and it's really sweet seeing them drag Michael onto the dance floor. Till Roger rolls up with the Spanish guy, and he's like, "We're moving in together." Oh, Roger, your motivations are so mysterious. And nonsensical. And stupid. You're acting like a hairy child. Michael doesn't get it either. He's like, "This doesn't make any sense. Explain." Roger tries to play it cool, but Mama Bear's like, "Nope. The only reason you would move in with some guy you just met yesterday is if you had really strong feelings for somebody else." Makes sense to me. And Roger's like, "Nuh-uh, I'll prove it. I'll go find my Spanish man." But then he goes to like the blowjob zone or whatever you call it in the back. And that's where he finds the guy getting serviced by somebody else. And Roger actually cares about cheating now, so he's upset. Tyler goes back there and he confronts Roger in the bathroom and they finally talk about their feelings. Tyler's like, "When are you going to stop caring about what other people think?" And Roger's like, "All I care about is what people think." But not really. The writers had him phrase it in this really awkward way.
Kid, what people think is all I see.
So Tyler can smoothly get a kiss out of him with this line.
So why don't you close your eyes for once?
And that's all it took. Imagine, these two probably could have spared themselves all the trouble if only they'd met at like a kinky blindfold party in the dark or something. Also, what kind of bathroom is this? Why is Simon on that side? What's the fence? Why are there two men's bathrooms anyway? Why aren't they way busier than a gay bar's bathroom should be at a time like that? Fuck it. So now Tyler and Roger are finally going to brave the gay bear scene together as a couple. Roger cuts off the Spanish guy once and for all.
"There are plenty of you back there. Who wants to eat my ass?"
Meanwhile, Brent and Fred are looking for their next victim at the bar, and Mel comes by to introduce himself. So, he has amnesia. You know, brain damage. Michael's rubbing his sore knees outside when Carlos arrives with some ice for him.
You have to take care of this, ni gordito.
Carlos, you say that like it's a health problem.
Because that kind of treatment is for people with health problems.
And Michael's so touched that Carlos came back and started taking care for him that he's deciding right then and there he's canceling the surgery. Victory for bears. And now he and Carlos are back together. Next day is the closing event of the weekend. All our main bears gather and update each other on their new status quos. Michael gets a text from Broadway.com saying he got the job. Teddy Bear comes over to be a dick about Roger having a new cub boyfriend, and Roger's like, "Bitch, Tyler and I are together now, bitch." He doesn't say bitch. That's not that kind of gay movie. And Teddy is like, "Oop, my bad. You guys look cute together anyway. I'm so sorry." So good to know that Roger was basically worried about nothing. Then Roger and Tyler kiss and roll credits, accompanied by this incredible banger of a song. Y'all need to watch this movie. And then watch Bear City 2 and Bear City 3. Bear cinema is so underappreciated. But if you take the time to look, you'll unearth a bunch of independent bear community productions on YouTube and beyond. All kinds of documentaries and short films and even long-running web series like Where the Bears Are. Some of them are really serious, others are hella cheesy and goofy and raunchy, and some of them are technically like really bad in terms of filmmaking. But from where I see it, the purpose of these movies isn't to be a work of art. It's to be authentic. is to celebrate this community of bears and to get them to all come together to work on one project together. Like, these guys are making the movies and romance stories that they want to see. And honestly, I think that's how representation in media is supposed to work. I feel like people often talk about the issue of representation, like the privileged writers and directors in the industry now need to learn how to write people of these underrepresented groups. But I'd say we should focus on hiring people from those groups to be in charge of their own stories, because that's where the authenticity comes from. And the authenticity is what elevates Bear City to be one of my favorite movie trilogies. I can overlook all the weird writing and technical decisions because of how the movie makes me feel. Imagine a bear movie with a Universal Studios kind of budget. You know I'd be first in line to see that. After all the bears in the world, of course. Anyway, that's enough for me for today. Go watch Bear City now. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Remember to support your local filmmaking bears, and I'll see you next time.